Hello, Robert here. It is a beautiful April 1st here in Southern Ontario. Depending on the time of year and the weather, what I'm actually doing with my days really changes. The last several weeks, I've been spending a lot of time with Dahlia Tubers. So last weekend, my wife and kids were feeling under the weather, and so I was at what would you even call it? I guess they call it like a seedy day or something. I don't know. They're a bunch of hippies. They set up tables and they trade seeds and sell seeds, and people come and go. I felt pretty out of place, but it was an event. My wife usually does these things. She was under the weather, so I filled in. And anyway, I was selling some Dahlia tubers to a bunch of people. If you've watched my channel for any period of time, you'd probably figure I'm not a hippie. And, I had no aspirations in life to sell flowers. I have nothing against with flowers. It was never on my radar until my wife got the Dahlia bug. Because I am now officially in the flower business. I'm selling flowers. I'm going to events selling flowers. I'm growing flowers. I thought it would be appropriate if I appropriated some Dutch culture. People would assume, well, he's not a hippie and he sells flowers, so he's got to be Dutch. So this is my windmill. Gonna have to give that a nice coat of paint. And I planted tulips all around the perimeter. I think I have some lupins in there. Some lupins there from last season we put in there. But anyway, I've got tulips around my windmill. So, I think that makes me Dutch. During this hippie gardening event that I was at over the weekend, I got a whole bunch of questions about tubers, about Dahlia, care, about preparation. What is a tuber? What do I do with the tuber? How do I start the tuber? When do I plant the tuber? And it made me think, I've been answering the same question over and over with a whole bunch of people that maybe I make a video about it. And so we're going to head into my garage here and look at some tubers. So we have a tuber here. I believe this is a parakeet tuber. So there are 5 parts to a tuber. So first part is the body, and just like any potato, all of the nutrition that it needs to get started is within the tuber. The starch, everything that it needs is in the body. So that is the body. The second, of course, is the neck. So you can see every tuber will have a long neck. Some necks will be long, some necks will be short. There's really no rhyme or reason as long as it's there, and you can see it. So the neck is probably the most fragile. When you're dividing tubers, it's definitely you get broken necks. So being very careful with your neck is a good thing. So the third part of the tuber is the crown, and the crown, of course, is at the top of the neck, and the crown forms the part of the previous plant's stem. And it's important that the crown is intact because your eyes, so the growth, the new plant, the eyes of the tuber come up from the crown, right? So we have our body, our neck, and our crown, and then the fourth part are the eyes. And if the tuber does not have eyes, right, you can see that is an eye, and that is, that's some growth there. If the tuber does not have eyes, it is a dud. So if you're looking to buy tubers, make sure they have eyes. If they don't have eyes, you've received duds. All right. And then the last part, once they are potted, the body will actually form roots, right? And of course, the roots will absorb all of the moisture, all of the nutrients needed for the plant to grow. So one of the questions I was asked was, it's still early spring. What do I do with this tuber? And you have a couple options, basically. So option one is you just keep it in this bag that we've provided, keep it in a cool, dark spot, and then plant it once your frost has ended. Once your frost advisories have ended, put it in your garden and let it grow. So the second option available is you pot your plants early, and the benefit of that, and it's the course that we've decided to go for the last few years, the benefit is you get an earlier start on the season because you're planting mature plants, or more mature plants, that is. So you get earlier flowers, you get more flowers. We do a cut flower business. So for us, there's value in that. So here are some of our potted tubers. Up here as well. So these will be going into our garden. Got some on the shelf back there as well with the ones that will be sold. So the goal is we're not looking for quick growth. So when you pot, especially when you pot early, don't have them in your house. They're just going to grow way too fast, and they'll just get tall and leggy, and that's not a good thing. So if you're gonna pot them and you don't have a cool space like a garage to keep them in, then wait until late April or early May to pot them, because if you start them this early, especially in March or early April, it's just too early of a start in a climate like Ontario. Another thing to keep in mind if you're going to pot your dahlias, your tubers, is really you do not need to water them at all for the first several weeks. And the reason is everything they need to get started is in that tuber, and any moisture you add. They are not seeds, right? These aren't seeds. Everything that they need to get started is in that body there. And so if you add too much water, if you put them in really moist soil or really moist potting mix, they're just going to rot. And so just take the potting mix out of the bag. Don't add any water. Just put it right in the pot and let it sit. So this one, this is, starting to get it's growing some leaves. So this one would be very close to the point where we think about separating that and getting it some water, because it's actually got some growth, and so that root system is going to be absorbing moisture, and yeah. So another thing to keep in mind that is very important, especially if you're starting them in pots in your house or in your garage, is before you plant them outside, harden them off the same way you would harden a tomato plant or a cucumber plant. What that means is you give it some time outside incrementally. So, give it a few hours outside in the shade, let it get some sunshine, let it get some wind, and that'll harden the plant and get it ready for so it won't be a total shock when you put it in the ground. And do that for about, maybe a week and a half before you intend to plant it, just to give your tuber, your dahlia there, the best chance to thrive in its new life outside. So we've got hundreds of different varieties on the go here. We have more inside that we are growing inside for the purpose of propagation. So over here, all these boxes represent different varieties of tubers. So people, order or people purchase at events. We've got them all divided up, so it's simple. Got pictures when we're at these events, when people can see what they're buying. Anyway, got the new banner made up. Here's my better half in the garden. Our garden keeps getting bigger and bigger. I think the latest, we're gonna have over 500 varieties of dahlia, plus ranunculus, plus zinnias, plus cosmos, plus iris, plus. So we'll be busy. I've got to expand the garden as soon as the ground is workable. Our yard is a sopping mess right now. So that is last year's garden, about 40 feet by 90 feet, I think 18 rows we had. We are going to be expanding out. I had, spring is going to spring, and when you have frozen ground and you have a ton of rain, you're going to get a lot of pooling, and that's the case here. I started pumping it. I had it pretty well empty there. I've got a little sump pump there, and anyway, with all the rain we had the last few days, it filled right up. So once I have workable ground here, I'm gonna get the tractor out, gonna get this garden built and expanded. It's gonna need to be about 4 times bigger than what I had last year. So I got my work cut out for me here. So this is our 4th year growing dahlias, and something that I've learned, growing dahlias, and especially I see it in my wife, and I see it in other people I meet who are really into dahlias. It's half about the flowers, and it's the other half. It's almost like it's a collectible. So you got to have them all, right? You got to catch them all, and that's what I've learned with dahlias is. It very quickly becomes this thing where you just, it doesn't matter that you've got 10 peach colored varieties of dahlia. You got to look at this one. This one is slightly different. And someone named this one, look at this one, Banana Sunshine Dahlia, or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, I'm still new to these flower videos and this YouTube in general. Hopefully the video was useful to someone and not completely amateur hour here. So we still have a whole bunch of tubers to sell. So if you're interested in growing dahlias, or if you'd like to come by the farm sometime in the summer, our place here, and see what we're doing. If you're in the GTA, we can ship anywhere across Canada. It's a little difficult into the US, I think, for some, I don't know, all these rules about what you're allowed to ship. But if you're in the GTA, send me an email. I'll have my email in the description. I can send you a list of what we have available and some pricing. And anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Take care.